Well, thank you everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you all this evening. I wanted to start off this evening by reflecting on the fact that we were all told growing up different stories about the places that we were born. We all come from different places in this room and a very diverse set of places, but we all had those stories. It might have been one of your parents, it might have been a grandparent, it might have been a teacher, but wherever it was and whoever it was, we all had stories about the people who came before us and why our place is the way it is. In the place that I'm from, in the north of Ireland, those stories were complicated by politics, by history and by religion. For some people growing up Catholic, it was a story shaped by British colonialism and conflict, by invasion and economic neglect. And for others, growing up Protestant, it was about a legitimate British identity that they had struggled across generations to protect, about a land that they loved and their legitimate right to feel part of the United Kingdom. And those are really old stories that have led to a society divided today by a border still carved over 100 years ago that still separates the north and south of the island. But it's a society divided as well by sectarianism and by poverty that divides communities, far too many communities across Northern Ireland. I'm here because I don't think that story is good enough and I don't think it's working for us. Only 9% of children in Northern Ireland are educated with children from across the other side of the community, 9%. Research suggests that £24 million is spent every year on the costs of maintaining segregated housing. Our economy in Northern Ireland is falling further and further behind the south, with people in the north earning 36% less than the south. And the economic stagnation that this division is causing us to fall behind Britain too, with productivity in Northern Ireland 17% below the UK average. We are trapped in a permanently peripheral state, locked out of opportunities, with worse educational outcomes and shorter life expectancy across the board. So, tasked with these old stories, I think the task for Ireland in this century is to write a new story for our future that looks different than the past, so we can tell a different narrative about where we're going. A future narrative that says that in this century, we came together as an island and addressed that division of the past by voting for a new future, one without a border between different parts of our island or between different parts of our communities. A narrative that says we ended partition, built a new Ireland and broke down barriers to opportunity for everybody from all communities. For me and for thousands of other young people in Northern Ireland, that's a really exciting story that we can tell together. We think we can give everyone on the island access to a dynamic, competitive and thriving economy. We think we can give everyone full membership of the European Union again, something many young people in particular are crying out for. We think we can give everyone a more representative government, improving some of the democratic voice of people in the north who habitually play almost no role in electing the government that leads the country in Westminster. And we think we can give everyone access to and representation by a more progressive foreign policy as members of a state that would look outward, not inward. And of course, what matters most perhaps about writing any new story is about who gets to hold the pen. Everybody needs to belong. And that means people who grew up with those hard-fought stories of British identity will need to feel as much at home in this new Ireland as I do. And that's really the big task of this generation, to build a new nation that belongs to absolutely everybody. Because we think that uniting the island is not the ends to achieving a more prosperous, just and reconciled society or a panacea for all those ills that I mentioned. But we do think it is the way to get there. It's the means of our social democratic mission to found a new state together that works for everyone. Not the way to settle the scores of an old story, but to write a new one. So where are we in writing that story? Well, the truthful answer is nowhere near far enough. Although polling shows support for a new Ireland at about 34%, we still have a very long way to go. Some groups are doing research and we see helpful policy reports come through, but we don't yet see the kind of mass movement we need to see to achieve this historic task. So to that end, this generation now holds a truly historic and unique opportunity to accelerate progress on that challenge and to craft a new shared story and a new Ireland for everybody. That's the historic nation-building and future-defining job for this generation of Irish people, to take those old stories that we learned as children and build something new that belongs to everyone. I think it's within our grasp and I think we can do it together. Thank you.